I'm Ben Meiselas from the MeidasTouch network. Donald Trump has gone on his social media platform to respond to the news that the Manhattan District Attorney is likely to criminally indict Donald Trump very soon. We've previously reported here on the MeidasTouch network the news that the Manhattan District Attorney has asked Donald Trump if Donald Trump would like to show up before the criminal grand jury that the Manhattan District Attorney has impaneled in Manhattan that is receiving evidence and has the power ultimately to criminally indict Donald Trump. Numerous other witnesses have testified before the criminal grand jury, and asking the ultimate target of the criminal investigation to appear before the criminal grand jury is usually the final step before an indictment is ultimately issued. It is unlikely, of course, that Donald Trump is going to take the district attorney up on the offer to go before the criminal grand jury, but nonetheless, that is usually the last step in the practices and procedures of most district attorneys, especially the Manhattan District Attorney, before a criminal indictment. So, of course, Donald Trump is now going on his social media platform now that an indictment is very imminent, and Donald Trump is doing all of the things a criminal defense lawyer would advise their client not to do. But for the sake of justice, I think we should all be glad that Donald Trump is just further incriminating himself with these outrageous statements. So let's just pull up the statement that Donald Trump made. He made this statement twice, so he posted it on the platform as just a series of posts, and then he did it as a, press release as well, and a press release for his 2024 campaign, which is very odd. He's using his campaign letterhead to attack the Manhattan District Attorney in response to the news that a criminal indictment against Donald Trump is very, very likely to happen very soon. But let's just pull open the statement and just first off take a look at it. It's like many paragraphs, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 paragraphs. Let's just take a look at what he said. Donald Trump goes, "I did absolutely nothing wrong. I have never had an affair with Stormy Daniels, nor would I have wanted to have an affair with Stormy Daniels." Well, I suppose he's saying that the 2.5 seconds of sex that he had with Stormy Daniels does not constitute an affair. But if he is going to put up a defense that he did not have some form of sexual relations with Stormy Daniels, that's going to be an interesting defense to mount. And he said that before. He said that when he went to the Cult Pack or the CPAC convention. He said it's the no affair, and then he would just call Stormy Daniels these horrific names. I think he called her horseface repeatedly, and that's type of evidence that the jury is going to hear, that he called her a horseface, because it goes to intent, it goes to mens rea, it goes to the ultimate criminal purpose that he's engaged in. And so him lying about not having sex, him calling her these names, also could potentially give rise, I think, to another form of a crime. It could be witness tampering. It's getting very close to being a crime of witness tampering based on the statements that more and more look like threats directed at Stormy Daniels. Trump goes on to say, "This is a political witch hunt trying to take down the leading candidate by far in the Republican Party, while at the same time also leading all Democrats in the polls." That's not true, including Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, Congress, and numerous Democrat district attorneys, Attorney General, and the Department of Justice itself, which has unprecedentedly placed top DOJ prosecutors into the Manhattan District Attorney's office in order to get Trump, have found that I did nothing wrong. Just every sentence he's saying there is a lie. The DOJ is placing, he's just making this stuff up. Now they fall back on the old and rebuked case, which has been rejected by every prosecutor's office that has looked at this Stormy Horseface Daniels matter. Again, see, that's where I think he's getting to the point where it's witness tampering and it's, threats, in my opinion, where I relied on counsel in order to resolve this extortion of me, which took place a long time ago. Since then, I have won lawsuits for hundreds of thousands of dollars against Stormy Daniels in every prosecutor's office which has looked at it, which are numerous, including the FEC, have turned this fake case down. This is not a state case. It is a federal case, and they have all passed on it. I mean, again, lie after lie after lie. And now accusing Stormy Daniels of engaging in extortion and calling Stormy Daniels horseface. Again, I believe that could be independent criminal conduct right there.
Oh, hey, when did you get here? Let's take a quick break to talk about our next partner, Henson Shaving. Look, everyone knows how annoying cheap razors are. The cuts, the irritation, the frustration. And don't get me started with subscription razor services, the headaches that those can cause. That's why you gotta meet Henson Shaving. Henson Shaving is a family-owned aerospace parts manufacturer that has made parts for the ISS. That's the International Space Station and Mars rover, and now they're bringing precision engineering to your shaving experience. Razor blades, they're like diving boards. The longer the board, the more wobble, the more nicks, cuts, and scrapes. A bad shave, it isn't a blade problem. It's an extension problem. By using aerospace-grade CNC machines, Henson makes metal razors that extend just 0.0013 inches, which is less than the thickness of human hair. That means a secure and stable blade with a vibration-free shave. It gets better. The razor has built-in channels to evacuate hair and cream, which makes clogging virtually impossible. Seriously, Henson Shaving wants the best razor, not the best razor business. That means no plastic, no subscriptions, no proprietary blades, and no obsolescence. The Henson razor, it works with standard dual edge blades to give you that old school shave with the benefit of new school tech. Once you own the Henson razor, it's only about $3 to $5 per year to replace the blades. My first shave with the Henson razor was incredibly refreshing. The design is sleek and the durability is top notch. The Henson razor is truly much better than your run-of-the-mill quote-unquote traditional razor brand. And the affordability factor is absolutely game-changing. No more wasting your money on expensive blades. With Henson Shaving, you get a year of blades for just $5. Okay, so here's what you have to do. It's time to say no to subscriptions and yes to a razor that'll last you a lifetime. Visit hensonshaving.com/Meidas to pick the razor for you and use code Meidas and you'll get 2 years worth of blades free with your razor. Just make sure to add them to your cart. That's 100 free blades when you head to hensonshaving.com/Meidas and use code Meidas. And now, back to the video.
He goes on to say, even the previous Manhattan DA, Cyrus Vance, did not bring charges because I am guilty of nothing, except for the fact that I am beating all Republicans and Democrats badly in the presidential race. It is Russia, 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 Ukraine, 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 the no collusion Mueller hoax, and other targeted false attacks against me all over again. It is a weaponization of our judicial system, and I am shocked that this Soros-backed radical left prosecutor who has allowed violent crime to reach new heights in New York without any retribution would consider bringing such a charge against the undisputed frontrunner of one of the two major political parties in our nation. Okay, so we're on paragraph 3 right now, and how many times has he repeated tilting at windmills, just saying it over and over and over again that he's the leading candidate? Okay, just because you repeat it over and over again doesn't make it so. It just demonstrates how deranged you are. I mean, when I read these, I'm reading the statement of a complete and utter madman. Like, if you told me, hey, this is the ranting and ravings of like a homicidal, psychopathic maniac, you know, and I'd say, yeah, I mean, that's I guess that is who he is. I mean, but this stuff is completely outrageous. Just repeating words and the grammar and saying Russia, 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 Ukraine, Ukraine, Ukraine. Some very strange stuff. But it also shows how terrified Donald Trump is right now. He goes on to say, Additionally, the statute of limitations has long since ended, and in fact, radical left media 1.5 years ago did a, quote, countdown on the statute of limitations, which was allowed to expire. The countdown ended, and until now, nobody had any idea that it was allowed to continue in this one lowball office. It is appalling that the Democrats would play this card, and only means that they are certain that they cannot win at the voter booth, so they have to go to a tool that has never been used in such a way in our country, weaponized law enforcement. The unprecedented thing is having such a criminal, such a disgusting and dastardly human being like you, who is running a cult that has taken over a political party, who led an insurrection, who's trying to destroy our Constitution. Never before has America confronted its version of a Mussolini before, an Adolf Hitler type demagogue before, a Kim Jong-un style leader. This is who you are. You are a cult leader engaged in trying to overthrow our democracy and spread election disinformation and lies, and currently leading an insurrection against our country right now as we speak. You want to talk about the statute of limitations? You don't know what you're talking about. You're wrong about every legal argument that you make. You have the worst lawyers who get sanctioned on every single case. You don't think the Manhattan District Attorney's Office, with its hundreds and hundreds of lawyers and thousands of staff, have not figured out what the statute of limitations is on this case? You don't think Alvin Bragg knows about it? Only you know what the statute of limitations. By the way, once you're filed on, once there's an indictment, rather than whining in a social media press release or whatever the heck this is, you can do what litigants do. File a motion. File a motion to dismiss on the basis of statute of limitations. You're going to lose because the case is within the statute of limitations. Not only are you going to lose this, my view, and I've said this before, Alvin Bragg's going to bring even a bigger case against you in the future. He's just focused on this case now. And by the way, Cy Vance had a grand jury impaneled. Cy Vance was on the path to criminally indicting you. So you're citing Cy Vance as an ally of yours? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Totally, totally pathetic. Then you go on to say, I and hundreds of millions of Americans, hundreds of millions, really, more Americans than even voted in the election. I and hundreds of millions of the American people who are backing me because they want to see our nation be great again are the victims of this corrupt, depraved, and weaponized justice system where Hunter Biden and his father can commit horrendous crimes, all accurately documented on his laptop, and nothing happens. But with me, after looking at 11 million pages worth of documents, they go after a hoax that every other prosecutor's office which reviewed it, and even the U.S. Congress has long so dropped. The U.S. Congress isn't a prosecutor. What are you even talking about, you deranged maniac? Has long ago dropped. I will not be deterred. I will always continue to be your voice, and I will keep fighting for our great country. Wow. What a long, rambling, weak, deranged, unhinged, disgusting statement, press release. Doesn't it, the more I read these types of things, doesn't it just feel just so weak? Doesn't it feel so desperate? The lie after lie, and him telling himself, oh, yeah, I'm doing good in the polls. I'm doing good in the polls. Just making up numbers, hundreds of millions of Americans who support you. You don't even know how, you even know what the population of the United States of America is. You clearly don't. One more point. It is so completely baffling. It is so completely mind-boggling. It is so completely sad that this is what the Republican Party has become. That this is who the Republican Party is today. A MAGA Republican Party led by this individual. It's really sick. It's really disgusting. And it is so important for the exhausted majority of pro-democracy loving Americans, you at home, your family, people that you know, that we make sure we do not ever let any of these fascist sympathizers that support Donald Trump, ever let Donald Trump or anybody around him ever get into power again. This stuff is so dangerous to our democracy, and democracy is important. We see here the sadistic, disgusting nature of what Trumpism and MAGA represents, and we cannot let that ever get into power, ever. Because if we do, our democracy will never be here anymore. And it is vital that we stand up at each and every step, and each and every day, each and every hour, each and every second for our great democracy. I'm Ben Meiselas from the MeidasTouch Network. Hit subscribe. We are on our way to 1 million subscribers thanks to your support. We are marching to 1 million subscribers in the month of March. Let's see if we get there. So please hit subscribe if you can, and check us out at patreon.com/MeidasTouch, patreon.com/MeidasTouch. And also wherever you get your audio podcast, just search MeidasTouch and check us out there. I'm Ben Meiselas. Until next time, and please hit subscribe.
At MeidasTouch, we are unapologetically pro-democracy, and we demand justice and accountability. That's why we're spreading our message to Convict 45. That's right, gear up right now with your Convict 45 tees and pins at store.MeidasTouch.com. That's store.MeidasTouch.com.